It was summer. I was about to go to the cinema to watch a newly released movie, but who knew that my excitement was about to change into a constant regret for the rest of my life. After coming from the office in the evening, I left for the cinema in the night. The cinema was located on the outskirts of the town. There was a sense of unease in my mind, as I was a little bit uncomfortable going to the cinema as it was nighttime. There were some rumors about the car parking in the basement of the cinema. I ignored them as mere misconceptions, and that was the biggest mistake of my life. While I was on my way to the cinema, the track I used as a shortcut to the cinema was very horrific. There was no traffic, and I was alone driving my car through the forest. All of a sudden, my car stopped, and there was smoke coming out from the engine. I stepped outside the car to examine the problem. When I stepped outside, I felt a strange energy in the atmosphere. I got a feeling that I was being watched. All of a sudden, I heard demonic noises from the woods. I immediately went inside the car and tried to start it, and luckily the car was operable now. I immediately left the place as it was giving me very disturbing thoughts. After about an hour's drive, I reached the cinema. Most of the people were parking their car outside the cinema due to the notorious reputation of the basement. I ignored it as mere misconceptions and entered the basement. When I entered the basement, every moment made me realize the biggest mistake of my life. The basement was almost empty, with a few broken cars standing scattered. I parked my car near the exit and immediately took things so that I could reach the cinema before the movie started. But I noticed that the surroundings of the basement were getting gloomy. It was getting difficult to breathe. It seemed that it would take my life, as there was no air in my lungs. After a moment, I saw a broken car moving. It shook my body from head to toe. The car was moving on its own, as there was no one inside it. It was cruising towards me as if it was supposed to crush me beneath it. I immediately ran out of the basement. After escaping from death, I entered the cinema hall to watch a movie as it was about to start. I took the ticket and sat on my spot. After a few minutes, the movie started. While I was enjoying the movie, I noticed that people were falling asleep. At first, I ignored it, and then I realized that everyone in the cinema was asleep. It was very strange to me. I was shivering with fear, but I tried to calm myself. All of a sudden, the lights in the cinema went off. I screamed for help, but everyone was asleep. It seemed that they were dead, as no one was getting up. After an instant, I heard a female crying, and it took my breath out of my lungs. And then, in the corner, I saw a female in a white gown staring at me with her hollow eyes. I immediately got up and started to run while I was close to the exit. That female in a white gown was standing in front of me. Suddenly, there was blood all over my clothes. I ran towards the emergency exit, and somehow I managed to escape.